Hi everyone, I'm coming to you live from DAM Europe 2019 in London, and I'm Theresa Regli, and I'm happy to be interviewing Wouter Fransen from Oxfam International. Hi Wouter.
Hi Theresa.
We're going to talk about the accidental dam manager and ask you a few questions about your role. How did you cross over into digital asset management?
Well, actually, my background is in communications, so not so much DAM. And when I was hired, it was a bit funny because it was a bit of a misunderstanding. In my JD, it stated that I would implement and manage a digital asset management system. So I thought we're all set up and good to go. And then it quickly appeared from doing the actual job that there was no dam in place. Nor was there really any support for the idea itself to have one centralized dam system. So I was going to build a business case for dam rather than manage a dam.
And so what was the business need for a dam?
Well, there were a couple of big business needs. First of all, I think we did a bit of research and we came to the conclusion that at Oxfam globally, we spend about 4,400 hours monthly searching for content. People sitting at their desk searching for content in different places in different systems. Now, if you look at that from the perspective of one person doing that, it's a bit nasty, but it's not a huge business problem. But it's only when you reveal that huge number at a global level that people start to really see what the issue is. That was one of the things. I'd say that the risk of having all of those assets in different places, most of our assets are personal data. Let's say, for example, people with HIV in Malawi and their personal stories. That is highly sensitive data. So that needs to be managed really well. And if you don't, that's a big risk. And that was another thing. And I think finally we were just realizing we were not reusing our assets such as we could potentially do. We came to the conclusion that most of our stories and the stories from the people we work with, we could easily reuse for about 3 years. But in reality, we were using most of them for less than 6 months and quite a considerable number of them for much less than that. So we needed to find a way to make our assets, our stories, our photos, our videos much more widely available within the Confederation.
So was it difficult to convince your stakeholders and your colleagues about the need for a dam?
Yeah, it was. It really was, because we were standing in very different positions and we had a different view of reality, I think. You know, when I could clearly see that business need and I could see like impending doom and I could see where we should move, it was really clear that most of the other people at Oxfam couldn't see why they should be moving, and they couldn't see where they would move. Well, you can't really expect people to move anywhere then, in that case. So that was pretty difficult, and we had to do a lot of work on that, working with multiple strategies with different people. You know, some people get convinced by numbers, others get convinced by logical arguments, others look more towards risk and how you can mitigate risk. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff we did in that and a lot of stuff I learned there.
And so you also had a situation where there was a lot of different systems and you're moving to one system. Is that a new concept? How has that been taken in at the organization?
Yeah, that's right. I think we have about 9 different dam-like systems in different places for different parts of our organization. And we have a global file sharing solution. And we have yet another system for like management of creative assets, which is not really being used. So lots of different systems. And we wanted to move towards one. The thing is, if you look at it from the perspective of one person just using one system, it's not at all working that bad. It's a matter of perspective. It's only when you take like this top-level helicopter view and you look at all of these different systems and people only accessing parts of that huge richness of content that we actually have, then it becomes clear what the problem is and how much of the potential we're just not achieving. And I think that's what much of the building of the business case consisted of, is making that clear to people.
talk a little bit more about the content that you are going to have in this new dam. So you mentioned stories, you mentioned photographs. What other content types will there be, and how are they connected?
So the core of it really is the core of our work. What we do is we help people help themselves out of poverty. That's what Oxfam does. So what is really core there are the stories of those people, their pictures, interviews with them, videos of people testifying about what they did and how Oxfam was able to support them in that. Those stories really help to paint the picture of the urgency of what it is that we do as an organization. It helps to portray what the impact is of that work. So that's really valuable, and I think that's the interviews, the stories, it's the pictures, it's the videos, creative assets as well. So the things that we create using those pictures, for example, that's going to be the core part of our centralized dam system.
Excellent. So hopefully you'll come back next year and let us know how it's going, and also if what you might have done differently.
Sure, yeah, fingers crossed, and we'll see where we get.
Okay. Well, thank you, Wouter, for joining us, and thank you everyone for watching.